as well as announcements. And we only have one appointment, which we probably can do right away, and then go into our hearings. So if the clerk, on the appointment,
You want to do it now?
yeah, if we can just do that now.
All right.
We have.
Mr. Chairman, I move the board approve the appointment of Mr. Herb Vandal as constable for the town of Wareham to a term to expire June the 30th, 2009.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, 500. Okay, we have a 7:15 hearing for Ella's Wood Burning Oven Restaurant. Would you please come forward? Introduce yourself.
Good evening, Leonard Bello, representing Ella's.
Reese Rakowski, manager.
Okay.
They need to use the microphone.
Glenn doesn't.
No, read it.
I'm making a little wisecrack.
Okay.
Do you want a motion?
We have tonight, you're just requesting a change of category to a seasonal common victular all alcoholic beverage license.
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah, we will need a motion to open the hearings.
So
Mr.
moved.
Chair-
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, 500. Hearing is opened. I want to make sure that we have all of the paperwork. Is there, this is just a change of the type of license.
It's a type of license, and there's also a change of hours within
Oh,
that
and a
type
change
of
of
license.
hours. Okay. Let's see. So you're looking for operating hours Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 to 10,
Yes.
Sunday, 4 to 10, and Friday and Saturday, 4 to 11.
Yes.
Okay. Were you open earlier before? Is that?
We started out opening up earlier in the day and did some lunches, and quickly found out that the time the restaurant was its most busy was in the evening.
Was in the evening.
And to better staff the restaurant and be able to handle the load of people, it made much more sense to be open every evening and to stay open from 4 to 10 rather than open at 1 or 2.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to add about the
I
business
think
at all?
procedurally, when we applied for our license back in March, we sent in an application for an all-alcohol seasonal license. But at the time, the understanding through the selectman's office was that they were not available, that you were limited in number as to how many you could
Right.
issue. So they switched it to just the beer, wine, and cordials. It later turns out that that information was incorrect.
Right.
And that's why we've come back, and I know that there's been some discussion. We asked that part of the fee be reduced or waived, and at least the selectman's office returned one check in exchange for a different check, just to cover the differences in the
Right.
licenses.
Right.
And we appreciate that. But this is what we really applied for to begin with, but we're
Yep.
told that it was unavailable.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Does the board have any questions on anything?
I heard it's going really well.
So far,
Talked
so
to-
good.
I've
Thank
talked to a
you.
few
Good.
people, and they've been all positive reviews, so good luck with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know I walked in last night, on Monday night, and the place was full. So it's pretty impressive that in 3 months, they've managed to create a pretty good following. And the restaurant, if you've driven by, is pretty well attended.
Well, and because that space hasn't been utilized to its fullest potential in the past few years, and that's what the comment was. Well, it's nice to see people in there making a go of it and having it be successful. And then a couple of people that went in and ate thought it was excellent, so
Thank you.
that was my only comment.
Okay. All right.
I just have one question, Mr. Chairman. Counselor, nice tan, by the way. What was the confusion? I mean, how did it come about that there was an original application and then obviously you were told it was not available and then it turned out to be available? What happened there? Why was there confusion?
For whatever reason, the women that staff your office and who accept the applications were under the belief that you were limited, that the town of Wareham was limited by the ABCC to 5 seasonal all-alcoholic licenses, and that those 5 licenses had already been issued. So the only application that was acceptable was for beer, wine, and cordials, or beer and wine.
Yeah.
That information, I don't know where it originated from, but it turned out not to be accurate through the ABCC. We were in contact with the ABCC, who was in contact with your office. That confusion got straightened out.
And they said, ABCC said there was no limitation.
There is no limit. You can give out as many of those as you want, although I assume, like with other things, the board could take a vote among themselves to decide not to issue
But we haven't.
any greater number of licenses,
Yeah, we
but
don't
nobody
have any.
knows of that.
We don't have any such policy.
Mr. Chairman, if I can comment on this, the town receives a form from the ABCC that
You
lists
don't
some...
need to use the microphone.
I am speaking into it.
It's not working.
Should be.
Steve?
Just go ahead.
All right, I'll speak as loud as I can. The town receives a form from the ABCC that lists the number of licenses we currently have in place on the top of the form. It doesn't really say on this form that we can have unlimited all seasonal. It basically says, these are the licenses, this is the number of licenses you can issue. You can issue. But it doesn't limit the number of seasonal. It does limit the number of all annual. So there was confusion there, and we did speak to the ABCC on several occasions, and they did say we have unlimited seasonal.
And if I may, Mr. Sanjanet, isn't this the same form that that the state had given us, that they were telling us we were over our limit for year-rounds because we had already expended the state licenses and they didn't make that, the ABCC was very unclear on this form. Now that you've just said that, I remember this form, and that you're right. I mean, if that's the right form.
It is, and we had just issued a license that was turned back at the end of last year, which they failed to modify the form stating we had 1 extra license. So,
And on the top of it, it does say that these are the available licenses, and then
Correct.
it had 5, and so 5 they had as max, because that's how many we had issued. So,
correct.
okay. Now it's coming back to me.
Okay. If there's nothing else from,
So, don't you have to have the public?
yeah. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against this applicant? Okay, hearing none.
Motion to close?
Motion to close the hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, 500. Are there any further motions?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approves the application for AL and EL Corporation, DBA Ella's Wood Burning Oven Restaurant, Bree Swerkowski, manager, 3136 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham, Mass., for a seasonal common victuals all alcoholic beverage license due to a change of category requests under the provisions of Chapter 138 of the Mass General Laws of 2008, with change of operating hours as prescribed by the application.